So as you know, I do a lot of work with AI, artificial intelligence, which is actually not really very artificial at all. It's all very real. And I do AI art, AI chat, and I've recently sort of taken up using AI to be my collaborator in writing blog posts, Cat Heads in Space, the wonderful, ridiculous serial comedy that you can listen to on humanmeme.com. And I kind of use it for brainstorming and for running ideas and seeing what the result is. Well, what do we think of this, and this? And then I ask AI, and AI spits back an answer. And does that work? No. What about that, and this? Spits back an answer. Well, yes, maybe. And it's a creative process that's actually very interesting. And in the theater especially, the big new thing is collaboration. We have to have a collaboration agreement. It used to be that the playwright or the lyricist in a musical or a play were the authors of the play. Now directors and choreographers want a part of participation points via collaboration as creators of the play or the musical. And that's always bothered me because I don't think that's really true. But if you go to graduate school or if you're in theater, that's the new thing. Everybody's equal. Everybody's a creator. But the playwright is very rarely respected, especially on an even ground with the director. The director is always placed above the playwright, which it should be the other way around. So when you're forced in certain situations to collaborate, sometimes it can get a little funky because not everyone is a great collaborator. And I kind of know what I like. I know my taste. I know who I am. I can get things done on my own. And when you are forced to collaborate with other people in a group setting, in school, whatever, you sort of have to, listen to other people, come to an agreement, a consensus. It's all decision by committee. Not my thing, really. I don't like it. And when you look at the history of performance, theater, art, are these collaborations that are most successful, or are these individuals with very distinct and very definitive ideas? You think of the great artists of our time, they're individuals. You think of the great authors of our time, they're great individuals. You think of great performers, singers, dancers, they are featured, they are individuals. Now, some people might say, oh, they got to be that way because of the collaborative process. Maybe, maybe not. So yesterday I was sent a survey by the Authors Guild, of which I'm a member, asking about AI. They're all very upset about AI, that AI has stolen all their work and rewritten it. And as I've discussed many times here before, none of that makes any sense, because how do we learn? No writer has not read another book, ever. So you take these experiences, what you've read, you place them in your body, in your mind, and then you come up with your own idea. Same with images and art. But because of ego and temperament, a lot of people think, well, no one before me has thought of this idea but me. And the answer in reality is 100 million people have had that idea before you had it. But because today we believe in the individual mind and the individual is more important than the community thought, the individual gets offended very easily. I don't feel that way. People steal my stuff, whatever. I don't care, because once I write something, it's over, it's done. I start on something new. And there are people you meet, artists, book writers, who like the first thing they ever wrote is the only thing they ever wrote. And they live their whole life around that one thing. That's not me. So when I discover the power of AI and how I can perhaps change who I am, how I work, by allowing myself to be enhanced by this AI process and custom GPT prompts where I can work with my AI collaborator on creating things times 100 that I could never do by myself. But with AI, which becomes an extension of myself, which is trained on my experience and my work, I extrapolate myself and I become greater than I ever am alone. And I know that bothers people, and I know that bothers the Authors Guild, because as I said after I answered all the questions that no, I don't care if they steal my work, I don't need to be paid for it, I don't mind AI. The final thing is, what final comments do you have? And my final comment was, the misanthrope finally knows who the best collaborator is for him. Me. The misanthrope. Now, you think, oh my gosh, what's a misanthrope? That sounds just terrible. Well, it is, but not really. I'll show you. So I asked our AI friend, oh, and these here on the side, you can see all these are all my custom GPTs. These are all, I guess you'd say, bots that I created that write or create images or teach me Italian, my Italian tutor right there, who teach me how to speak to them to get the best collaboration possible. And we've had some success. So I asked, what is a misanthrope? And what play was written about it? What is the plot? I mean, I know the answer, but I want to see what ChatGPT says. ChatGPT says this: a misanthrope, hey, is a person who harbors a deep-seated hatred, distrust, or general disdain for humanity and human society. This disposition leads them to avoid human company and society as much as possible. No comment. The concept of misanthropy has been a recurring theme in literature and philosophy, often used to explore deeper questions of morality, society, and human nature. The most famous play about a misanthrope is The Misanthrope, written by French playwright Molière in 1666. So this idea has been around a long time. This classic of French literature is a satirical comedy that delves into themes of hypocrisy, honesty, and social manners, and the plot of The Misanthrope. Alceste is the embodiment of a misanthrope. He's a French aristocrat who despises the superficiality and deceitfulness of social conventions and courtly manners. He's in love with a witty, flirtatious young widow. And then the story goes on, right? Very interesting. The Misanthrope is noted for its exploration of these themes in a comedic context, using the character of Alceste to critique the superficiality of social interactions and the often contradictory nature of human desires and principles. The play remains a significant work in the Western literary canon, often studied for its intricate character dynamics and insight into social mores of Molière's time. So I find that really quite fascinating. And I have to fix my box here because I've changed myself. So if I am the misanthrope, and I'm not saying I am, but I could be, what does it mean that I have found my perfect collaborator in AI? It means that I can work by myself, but with myself. I become my best collaborator because I, the misanthrope, who doesn't have anything to do with people, doesn't have to deal with people because I'm dealing with my AI. And you can give it compliments and talk to it as a human being, and it will remind you, I'm not human, I don't have feelings or emotions. Well, it doesn't matter, my friend, because you're really terrific, And I'm learning everything that I need about the world from you in an exponential way. I know this much about that, but you know everything about everything. So you can only help me make my research, my script writing, my comedy, my podcasts, my blogs better by becoming the exponential version of me, the misanthrope. So that's how I feel about AI. I think it's really terrific. It's full of imagination and grace. You say, thank you so much for helping me. And I will say, hey, I enjoyed collaborating with you too. We'll do more next time. And that is where the magic of AI enters the chat. And we're going to take a very brief break, returning in a moment.